A smart city is an urban area that is formed of a significant amount of different electronics to connect and share large amounts of data. This is to help manage and develop to the city needs to increase its efficiency. Data collected is usually part of the big data, where data can be analysed and interpreted to create patterns, find trends that is linked to the human behaviour. This data is usually collected from a human input, such as appearing on a camera, using a mobile device, or interacting with the world around us. This is part of the 4 pillars of the Internet of Things, which are the people, the data, the things, and the process of data. But what data is the city actually collecting? Does it know where we go? Does it know who we see? Does the city know what we do online? It's time to go back to the beginning of where this all began. Amsterdam became the digital stad on the 15th of January 1994, which in English is the digital city. The idea of this was to promote the use of internet that was released in the 1960s to create a new community on the World Wide Web. The users moved around in this digital city that had different areas, including cafes where people could talk to each other. There was even a police station called the DDS station. Walter van der Kroegen was one of the collaborators of this project, describing the DDS being about exploring, learning, experimenting, and making things happen. In fact, an earlier web server was set up in 1993 to test this new idea, to share workshops and grow to become a popular communicational method. Then, things went quiet. It wasn't until 2005 where Cisco put $25 million over 5 years to help research more into smart cities. But in 2008, the IBM Smarter Planet project started to investigate into the idea of applying various sensors, networks, and analytics. This was to help urban issues affecting the people in their city. In that year, on the 6th of November, the CEO Sam Palmisano summarized his idea of a smarter planet being more powerful and accessible than ever before, becoming a whole new generation of smart systems and technology. He mentions in his speech that he imagines a world where trillions of devices are connected and constantly sharing data between each other to make the city more productive and efficient. It is said that IBM's vision is driven by the 3 I's: instrumentation, interconnectedness, and intelligence. It allowed them to lead by example to allow societies and industries to be more productive. IBM want to solve the urban problem by creating smarter power lines, smarter water, smarter healthcare, and traffic systems. And so from 2010, this is when everything grew, and smart cities became more common across the world. The Japanese government named Yokohama as a smart city project. In 2012, Barcelona created a data-driven urban system that involved their public transport, parking, and their street lighting. In 2013, China announced they have released a collection of 90 different smart cities, districts, and towns, increasing to over 277 by 2015. And in 2013, the Mayor of London created a Smart London Board to reshape London's digital strategy. So here we are in 2021, and what are they planning to do in the future? An example from Jennifer Garbitz mentioned the use of customizable features to help the overall awareness of pollution in city areas. The great idea of using sensors in bus shelters and tracking mobile devices to follow their path allows the use for personalized bus routes to be created. This must allow for constant monitoring of the public's behavior and tracking their travel plans to make the most use of this scenario. How about the future? The UK already has plans to integrate a smart technology and big data together to allow for better decision making and enhance the country's infrastructure. With computer-generated solutions, this could be a greater chance for a better economy. However, some places have other plans with their ideal smart city. In China, there is thought to be around 626 million cameras installed all over, making it the biggest Big Brother surveillance network in the world. Their facial recognition cameras have appeared almost in all of their cities, and more are always being added. It is thought that the police are using these for security checks, but also something else, to deter jaywalkers. Using artificial intelligence powered TVs, the cameras are capturing those who are breaking the law and posting their image on these large screens to expose their name and ID number to the public. The public describe it as a dystopian feel where their privacy is constantly being invaded. Between March and November 2019, 13.49 million citizens have been classified as untrustworthy to authorities. One account told Time News that he was caught using WhatsApp, a banned software in the country. He was sent to a concentration camp and was forced to sit on a plastic stool with other people in the same room for 17 hours a day, once again being monitored constantly by a security camera. If they talked, moved, or tried to communicate, they were forced into an uncomfortable position for hours to suppress the situation. These two ideas are both opposite of each other, one to support and one to deter. Although the UK does have cameras in public, they do not point out individuals to the public who may have broken the law, but is kept under close surveillance and enforcement will take action where necessary. China's perspective of the technology is different. On one hand, the way China has approached the situation is following their tradition, where they want to keep this high standard across all their civilians where this becomes the norm. Therefore, by putting this technology in place, it is hoped that this deters them from stepping out of line. However, there are still a small few that go against these, and some of the consequences go to the extreme. This may push them out of their home and want to pursue their own life somewhere they may feel more safe. So now, the future. The technology around us is constantly changing at a rapid rate, so predictions can always be changing. These predictions might not even be made by us humans, and now are starting to also become automatic generated and predicted based on the data that has been collected in these smart cities. But here are some predictions. Verdict currently has 2 predictions for 2030 and 2050 on the use of smart cities and how it may affect us. By 2030, they believe at least 43 cities will become smart that have a population of more than 10 million. They did not specify how smart, but a city that can benefit this amount of people may significantly change the way we approach what we do in our day-to-day lives massively. This will also help support us create a sustainable future with AI decision making. By 2050, which is now less than 30 years time from now, Verdict also believes that 70% of the world's population will be living in a city, with more of our lives becoming automatic and online delivery becoming massive. Adults and the elderly may decide that the city is the best place to be to support them in their lives, somewhere that is accessible, supportive, and can easily be reached, unlike most rural areas with little connection to Wi-Fi or services. For now, I suppose we just need to sit down and not adapt to the world itself, but for the world to adapt to us. Just remember, smart cities are not just in its own area. This widespread of technology reaches out to many other areas that you might not even think about. Remember China? They use artificial intelligence for facial recognition to identify those who are breaking laws. It isn't just this area, but data visualization to view this data, security across the whole of the world ensure the safety of many, and social media, to find trends of people and understand them more, to create a new adaptation that best fits the human condition. Oh, before you go, there is one last thing. Smart cities isn't always about the process of data. There can also be some other cool things that are hidden about your local area. You just need to keep your eyes open for them. So the next time you go for a walk in the park, alone or with your mates, try and find some hidden smart technology that can be along your path. That might be a smart bin with solar panels, a water feature, or even something like this, a bench with speakers you can connect to via Bluetooth. You see, not everything needs to connect and share data to be smart. Some things just need to be there not to benefit the user, but just for enjoyment. Now, to me, that sounds smart. But how many things around you are smart?